Hey guys, it's 2025 and I'm going to do a rig rundown. I've done a few in the past. Shout out to Barry Carroll and One Lad Music. He asked me about this and I thought I would go ahead and do an updated version. Had a gig this last weekend, so I'm going to set everything up again. And I thought it might be a good time to go ahead and share some of these things. So, first thing, I'm in this little 8x8 practice room that I set up. So the space is kind of tight. But anyway, see if I can get an angle on this. I've got this rack system. So I've got a foot drum here, but I'll get to that later. I don't think I've ever really shared too much on the rack system I've got. So I built this custom box. And I can set up pretty quickly when I'm really moving, probably about a half hour, I don't know, something like that. So it normally has a back on this and with wheels so I can roll around. It's got wheels also when it's standing up. And I just got a latch system. I can pop this off. And same with the top, it's got latches on it. And pop that off. So, what I've got here, I've got everything is cabled up, and then I've got speakers. The speakers are in here, so I can just pull those out and set those up. These white things here, those are PVC pipes. I just use those. They're kind of they slide, the speakers slide in and out on them really easy. Holds them pretty firm in there. And then I've got my effects pedals. I've got in here. These are kind of locked into place, and I can unlock them and pull it out. Just take this out, and you can see it's already cabled. I can show that right here. I can set that down right in front of the foot drum. See if I can get that in there. Anyway. Kind of awkward angle. All right. Flip this around. Okay. So I've taken it out of there. This thing can slide back. And so I've got the wires kind of cabled up. This stuff is pretty good for the cable management. It's a company called Alex Tech. And so it's like a wrap, and it's a protective wrap, and you can like just bundle all your cables up, wrap them up, and it's really nice. And I put this on the slide out mount. All the cables come out here. And then I've got all the rest of the cables that are all wired up into here. They just roll up down here, and I can roll them out and attach them to mics. And I run triggers, and I'll get into that a little later. But anyway, I'll pull all these out. And then I've got another rollout box that's got microphone, and I use headphones for monitor. And this is my dual harmonica holder that mounts next to it. It's got a mount on it so I can put a microphone, and I'll show you that in a bit. And I put just other crap stored in here. The mic mount that goes on there. This is for the kick drum. It's a kick trigger. This is a Yamaha. I don't know what the model's called, but anyway. And these are just, I have 2 overhead mics. These are Behringer, and they're, what you call it? Anyway, I use that one on the kind of on the hi-hat side, one on the crash side, just overhead. And with the triggers, I have everything just hooked up with triggers, and it seems to work pretty well. I just did first live gig I've done in quite some time, and it actually came out pretty good. And then I've got a Shure Beta 58A. That's my main microphone. Pop that back in there, and then one of the newer things I've got is this TC Helicon Voice Live Touch 2. And I had Voice 2 TC Helicon Voice Live Play Electrics. And I was doing vocals in 2 microphones. So I had one microphone with one of the Play Electrics set for harmonies and the other one just set for straight vocals. And I found a way to consolidate and just use one, and just have one mic. And then I've got this Roland TD6V, which I swapped out my Yamaha DTX 502, and this does all my triggers. So I've got, snare, kick. I've got toms that have. I did a video a while back showing the triggers and how I'm triggering and doing toms and stuff. But this is really nice. It's got about 1,000 sounds on it. You can find them used out on Reverb for pretty cheap. That's why I got this. And it's nice. It's got MIDI where you can do MIDI program changes on it from if you're using some kind of like songbook or OnSong, one of these things with your tablet to get, you do the Chord Pro things, and I can configure it with MIDI to do program changes and get different sounding drum kits, just touch of a button or changing songs. And then really cool thing I've got now is for all my guitar effects and harmonica even, I run through these. I've got 3 iPhones, and I run something called MIDI Guitar 2, and you can find, if you look up Brendan Power, that's where I found out about this. He's just an incredible harp player, and he does this stuff with this MIDI Guitar 2. So it's like a pitch to MIDI converter, and I'll go over that more. But you can look that up and see some really cool demos with him and a guy named Lo-Fi Leif, I think is his name. He demonstrates the stuff really well. But the guitar runs through the Touch 2, and then I split it out and I go to this iPhone and I run MIDI guitar, and it's got amplifiers and everything all programmatically done. It's pretty cheap too. It's like, I don't know, I think I paid $20 for the app, and then you can buy like add-on stuff for $4, $10, stuff like that for different sounds. And then I have a second one that I split. I have 2 pickups in my guitar. So one pickup goes to this guy. The other pickup, I use this one with MIDI Guitar 2 for keyboard sounds, and there's plugins for like Mellotron. And anyway, I had the Mel 9 and C9 boxes from Electro Harmonics, and these replaced all that. And they have MIDI program changes, so every time I change a sound, I don't have to bend over and change the rotary dial and do all that. It's just all programmatically done. When I change it in the Songbook app, it just changes it through MIDI. so you can change the sounds. And then I run the harmonica through one. You can make the harmonica sound like an organ or whatever you want. I just run it with like some amplifiers that get overdrive, and I only play a couple songs with harmonica in it. But I would love to dive deeper into that and get better. This RP55, I'm running the bass through it from, I've got the Little Thunder pickup, kind of a love-hate relationship with this thing. It's kind of cool. I don't know. I don't know what I think. I'm looking for a better solution. MIDI Guitar 3 is coming out, and it's going to have low note priority, and I think it's going to work a lot better once I get that going. They've got it out in beta. Yeah, it should be out soon. But anyway, so I split out the bass coming from the Little Thunder, and I run it into this RP55, which I just, I wouldn't have bought one now, but I had it. So it does make it sound better. I can get a little bit different, tonal changes and add a little overdrive. And all that comes into this Yamaha 400i. I don't think they make them anymore, but it's like 8-channel, and it's enough for me. I maximize all the channels. And I just got everything running. So I started using like these RCA cables, like really thin. I don't need all the big fat cables. It was just like a really pain to run, like all the fat cables. So now the cables are really nice and tight. I've got them all wrapped up with that Alex Tech wrap going in here, so it's pretty clean. I've got the drum triggers. So, I mean, it's pretty custom to do this, and if anybody wants to do it and has some questions, I'd be happy to go into more detail, but I've got these going into these like wiring block things, and so, I mean, I have like 8 lines run, and I'm using Ethernet RJ45 connections, so I just run 2 cables, so all these just consolidate down to 2 cables. And if I was a little better with electronics, I could probably consolidate it down to 1 cable, just 1 Ethernet cable. But I've got it to 2 right now. And I'm using, it's called Witty Jack. And so it does like Bluetooth MIDI from the wireless MIDI from my Songbook application. And it goes into here and changes the programs here. And then I run that, it's this. Right here through Bluetooth, and then I've got this wired from the through into the Touch 2, and that way it changes the TC Helicon box, changes those patches. And then these, it's kind of complicated. I got to figure out how to do it with Bluetooth, but I haven't yet. I'm doing this with a Wi-Fi app called I can't think of what it's called. Anyway, I'll get to it. But it's going through Wi-Fi and changing instead of Bluetooth, but it still works. I'll go over that later in a later segment when I can remember what the RTP MIDI, I think, is what that was called. Let's see. Okay, and just for the pedal board, the stuff I'm doing with my feet. So I've reduced the tap dance a little bit that I used to have to do because I had to change. I had the 2 TC Helicon boxes that I have to change those with my feet, and I couldn't keep track of like what program was what. So the MIDI thing is awesome. This is a box. I made this box myself, and I tried to make it look really cool with decals and all that stuff. But this was so I could split out the Little Thunder pickup and have bass and then have the guitar. And then I also have a piezo pickup in the bridge of my acoustic. And so I could turn these on and off. And that's all that is. And then I have this A-B switch. And might make more sense if I explain what I'm doing with that a little later in conjunction with this freeze pedal. This is like the Switch 3 that goes with like the Digitech boxes, you may have heard of them, and then the TC Helicon boxes use Switch 3 to, you can make effects come in, or you know, various things with that. So I have it set to just so I can talk without any effects on and tune. This one, I haven't really decided what I'm going to do with this button. But the third button, I come out and I go remote to the guitar so I can bring the harmonies in, and it's a momentary switch in the guitar. And this is just like an arcade button, like, you know, you have on a Pac-Man machine or whatever. So I had to drill a big old hole in there, pop that in there. And then I'll go ahead and bring this down. Oops. So the guitar, this is very custom. I set this paddle up. So this comes off. It's magnetically attached because I found I had it like more permanently attached, and then I found out it wouldn't fit in my guitar case. Didn't think about that. So I peeled it off and I just put these magnets on there. And all this is like a keyboard sustain pedal. And I took off the cable that came out of it and just wired up a jack so that I could make this more, take it on and off. I mean, I haven't even told you what this is for yet, but anyway, this is what I've got all these jacks back here on the guitar. So I've got the Little Thunder comes out is hooked up to this jack. So this is a stereo, and it has the bass coming out, and then the Little Thunder humbucker pickup coming out, and then this is also a stereo jack, and that has this momentary button going to that, and then it's got this sustain pedal that also goes into there, and then stereo out into this unit. I hope this is making sense. This is just a connection to get into the guitar, and then out this jack right here. It's just something I did to clean things up, because I used to just have the wire just running out here straight into, there's too many cables. And then this is the bridge piezo pickup that comes out of there. And then that way I can run a very thin cable. So I'm using like the little 1/8 inch cables. This is the wrong one. All right, well, I'll have to go find the cable. I don't know where it is right now. But so this thing here, so this is kind of weird. I found a guy on Instagram, Mimetronics. He customizes pedals, and what he had done was this freeze pedal. If you don't know what this is, this will sustain. If you push the button, it will sustain whatever input is coming in. So like you play the guitar in, you can play a chord and then press the button, and it will just hold that chord for as long as you're holding the button. And what he did was he customized it to have a jack on it where you could have a remote activation instead of having to use your feet to push this. So what I did is I came out of that jack and I plug in, and that goes to this. So instead of using my foot to do that sustain pedal, I can just kind of hit it with my palm while strumming and bring in, I use it to bring in keyboard sounds with this setup with the MIDI guitar. It used to be the Mel 9 and the C9 that would bring in like organ sounds and all that stuff. But now I do it through the MIDI guitar, and then it uses this. And this goes into the AB pedal, and basically that is so I can have the keyboards always on if I switch it one way, and then I can also have it just activate only when I hit the paddle. then that'll let the keyboards pass through and let the guitar pass through and make the keyboards so you can hear them. And that's all that's for. Because every once in a while, I just want them on all the time. I don't necessarily need to have them coming in and out, but it's just a lot more natural for most everything to just have, like if I want to bring strings in, I can just kind of push the paddle and then everything's, it's hitting the strings. So let me pause this again and I'll just show kind of how stuff hooks into the drums. Okay, so I did go find the cable that goes from my guitar to the effects pedals, and my original one I had like 3 big 1/4-inch cables, and I realized I'm not jumping around on stage and stuff, so I just slimmed those down to like the little 1/8-inch cables, and then I've got the angle ones and you just pop these on. So now it's really lightweight, thin. I've got again wrapped in that Alex Tech, but this is just like 3 little mini 1/8-inch cables, and honestly I don't think it degrades the sound or anything. I don't need heavy duty because I'm pretty stationary, so I've just got this like short cable that goes from the guitar, and it's lightweight and it's great. The other one was so heavy with big fat cables, so this is great. I highly recommend it. Now let's see, let me see if I can start doing the hookup stuff. Yeah, I never showed underneath the pedal board. So I run this Pedal Power 4x4 Voodoo Labs, and just kind of just see what this looks like. It's a lot more organized than my old one, but that's that. Okay, so cable wise, I've got this main one with everything coming through. There's a few cables going through this, 3 or 4, or more. I don't know. Anyway, 3, and then 3 main cables coming out, wrapped in Alex Tech. And so here's these are the drum triggers. So my 2 Ethernet jacks that just go under here, and so kind of hard to do one-handed here. So, and I just can't really see it too well. The wood block's in the way. I don't know. I can't take that out right now. Just kind of mounted a unit in there with the RJ45 plugs or jacks. And so this is what it looks like under the foot drum. And maybe I'll do a little more on that in a bit. Let's see, for anyone interested, that's what it looks like. Oh, I might as well put this on. Okay, so I'll go over the foot drum for a little bit. So this is my version of the snare drag. Pete put the snare drag on. He uses a heel pedal to do it. I do it a little different, but I came up with this unit, and I use opposing magnets and like a plunger, and I'll show you that. I did a whole video on this when I first made it, so that's out there, so maybe I won't spend too much detail on this, but this just hooks up. I've got the wood block, and I'm able to keep that as my heel post, and then this fits on like that. And again, I can do one-handed, but that gets used. So I can do rolls and stuff, and it's pretty cool to be able to do that. And I can still use the wood block. I've got that heel pedal, and then I've got, hang on. So I mounted a plate underneath here, and then made a similar assembly to what Pete uses for these things, and that just, it's just like a plunger on the end of it that, and so when I can use that and then still hit the snare and get a pretty good roll going on that. Maybe I'll demonstrate that later. I think the video I did before kind of shows that. I've gotten a little better at it. But, okay, so that's that. Oh, and then this is, I used to have this big old bulky thing that I made to do like a Bluetooth, like page turner. And then I found this thing. They're cheap. They're about, I don't know, $10, $12, something on Amazon. Sky Turner, I think it's called. And I've just got these like picture hanger mounts, and I put one there, and slide that on, and now I can just, you know, tap that and do my page up and down with this thing, and it's pretty cool. I wish I could just remember all the songs and remember the lyrics and all that, but I just can't. So I need my tablet. And the tablet's kind of cool because it does all the MIDI changes all the programs. This is my first time actually out at a gig where I had everything automated and didn't have to think about what programs I was changing to and stuff. And it was night and day difference. It was so much cooler to not have to deal with. Before I just put one sound out because I couldn't keep track of like changing the guitar tones and all that stuff, and it just didn't work that well. But now I can just get, you know, more electric sounds, more acoustic sounds, and, you know, appropriate for whichever song I'm playing. Anyway, I'll go over that later. Let me show you the rest of like kind of the cable hookup. Okay, so I've got a mic stand that this is like a ride cymbal stand, and because I had a lot of problems with stuff, you know, it would fall over. This is very stable. I've got locking, all these things lock into place, you know, with like ratcheting kind of thing. So I just got the one main stick coming up. This thing lets me add the other pole, and that's where I got the microphones off that, and then I mount the tablet onto this one, and comes down there. And these like really help keep things stable. I just have them all the way spanned out as far as they go. Come up here, and then this is I don't know, it's like a cowbell holder. It's kind of like almost like a cymbal holder that comes up, but it doesn't have like the screw-on thing that you would use for cymbals. You can just put a cowbell or whatever on there. I use it for my harmonica holder. So that goes on there like that. I can't do this. Okay, so that attaches on there like that, and then I've got a little extension bar that comes off of here that holds the mic. So let me pause this and I'll put that on. Okay, so and that's how this hooks together. And then I got my microphone coming off this. I can't remember who makes this, On Stage or something. You can get this. It's just a piece of one of their things, but it's nice and secure. And this is, you know, it's like the ratcheting system. So, because before I didn't know about that, and I had stuff and it was just falling all the time. This stuff just holds super firm, so it's great. Very adjustable. So let's see. I got the mic cables that come up for that. So I've got one of the mic cables in this, a 1/4 inch. And what I've got in this thing is it's a Beta 58A, the insides, whatever you call that, but the mic element. So I just plug in there. I think I posted a video of kind of like this thing when I was building it and what it looked like and how it works. If I had to do over again, I wouldn't cover it in the speaker fabric. That's been kind of painful. It used to be wood, and I thought it would be cool, more soundproof, or more like I was trying to get that cupped sound that I see a lot of the guys doing, and it kind of works. It's pretty cool, but I wanted to hold 2 mics, not just one. So I had to kind of customize my own, and it works pretty well. The other thing I didn't show, I guess, was my box that holds the mics. Okay, yeah, so my mics are in another pull-out drawer in this unit. Take that off. And so I've got a little collection of mics, and I just store other stuff in there. I'm down to, I just use three capos now. I have some cut capos. So I have a full capo, one that just covers 4 strings and one that covers 5 strings. And I use different tuning than not non-standard tuning. And I keep picks, and I also like to see if I've got a problem with the electricity wherever I'm plugging into, because I had some ground issues before at one live gig, and picks and other stuff. Chip clip, I'll show you what that is for later. That's just a spare, and wrenches and tools and whatever I might need. So that's that. And so back to the mic. So, and then I can just hook that in here, hook the mic up. I'm not going to do that because it's one-handed right now. And then the other mics, I've got the overheads that are all attached in this one unit. Anyway, you get the idea. Go up here. I'm not going to hook them up yet because it's too hard to do one-handed. So now I'll go over the foot drum stuff. I kind of had this going before. I think I showed it, but this foot drum is from 2016, and it had something called a U-bar that used to mount from inside. It was mounted, and what part of it came up through this hole, and then it came out and around, and it held the cymbals, but it didn't have this kind of, like, put your cymbals on and off. It was a different system. You needed tools to do it, and I don't know. This is just way more adjustable. So what I did is I took that off, and I got one of these that's used for like mounting legs on toms and such. And now and this is like a cymbal, cymbal boom arm. So you just take that out and slide it in. I've got one of these stops on here, so I can just mark it and get it back in the same place every time. Tighten that up. And let me get a cymbal. So these things are great because you just squeeze them off like that. Let's see. Didn't really prepare things well to do this video. Put that back on. And I think, you could probably, like with this setup, I could get a bigger cymbal than what it normally could have had before, but I like this cymbal. I'm happy with it. So I just use that, and hang on, I'll get the other things. Tighten that up. Okay, so then this also, I've gone over these before, but a lot of people probably didn't see them. These are just PVC pipes that have a drumstick on the back half, and then I put a pipe, like a 1/2-inch PVC on there, and then down in there is the butt end of the stick in there halfway through with a little magnet on it, and then Then I have sticks that also have a magnet into the end, and I can just slide it in and it locks into place. And you can hear it snap. And I haven't had one fly out yet. It's actually working great. You can pop that out and change it out to whatever you want. On the next one, I have same thing. I notched it so that this thing will spin around if you don't have some sort of notch, and just a little screw in there, and that keeps it locked into place. And you have to adjust this just right. Hang on. Yeah, so I just tilt this in a little bit and it'll crash, but that doesn't hit the crash. It's got the clearance. Okay, and then for anybody that knows me, that's seen my setup before, one of the things I did, I had this thing, I called it a side step, and I had a platform that came off of the main foot drum, and it had two drum bass pedals on it. And I had jingle sticks, and I had a big ride cymbal that I had, mounted off over there. I don't know. I got tired. It worked great, but I just got kind of tired of it. It was kind of a hassle to use. So I really like how that cymbal mounts over there. So I took the U bar out of here and put another one of these over here. So I can just, because I don't know, this just works better than the old system, I think. It's just faster and easier. Pop this in. And so my plan is I am going to get another ride, but Paiste makes a 12-inch ride that seems pretty decent for my purposes, and I didn't want to haul around this whole other unit and pedals. It was heavy, and then the other cymbal and a stand. I just wanted to kind of reduce my floor space requirements and just less stuff to pack and carry. So now I do this. I have a little splash cymbal that I stick on here, but it's a piece of crap. So that's going. I'm going to get this Paiste. It's like a ride cymbal, but it crashes as well. But, I can get the cowbell, and I can have a cymbal on there and still and do a jingle stick, or this is all the same. Like, I just call it a quick change, but same thing. Just stick these in there, and I can pop those in and out really easy. And for the live thing, it worked really great for me to not have to deal with the whole other cymbal and the whole other setup. And I had to split my legs wide apart to do it. So upside there, just keeping everything like right here. So I'm kind of happy with the new setup. The triggers. So I did a whole other video, so maybe I won't go too in depth on that. I don't know, let me see. But anyway, I got these will do toms, or I even thought about I could just make this a ride cymbal on some kits if I want, and hit that and hit the ride, and a tom here, and toms here. I also do like congas and stuff like that, which is kind of cool for some songs. This was the regular heel pedal, but I turned it into a trigger as well. You see this button. And I took that assembly and I moved it to here. I did a whole video on that one too when I first did it. But this gets me, so you push it down and it hits on the upstroke. So when I hit this down, that will hit if I hit them at the same time. So I can get 16th notes or easy 8th notes, like that. And then this is a chip clip, and I used a threaded insert mounted in because I figured I was going to be changing this out a million times because I just thought they would break. But I use it to lift the hi-hat. So I kind of like that feature of being able to just on the down still be able to do that. This still functions. I can still use the open hi-hat, but I usually just leave it closed most of the time. But sometimes for like some of the Beatles stuff where they have Ringo does the sloshy hi-hat, I can kind of get that effect. But anyway, this chip clip, that's what I was saying. I keep a spare chip clip in case I need to change this out. It unscrews really easy down through this hole. This is like an OXO chip clip. I don't know how long I've had this on, a couple of years. It's got many hours on it and still hasn't broken. I just thought I'd be breaking them like guitar strings, but so far so good. It works great. I love it. Let's see what else. Let me fire up some other stuff. Pause this. All right, so here's kind of the setup. So here's the overhead mics and how that looks. So I point to the crash, I point down here. It kind of picks everything up pretty good. And then of course the triggers, I've got the snare, the wood block, the kick, and here's the kick trigger is on like that. And I wire that through here and then out through the Ethernet that I was talking about. There's a more in-depth video on my YouTube channel that explains all that. And then mount the tablet there. Okay, hopefully you can see the program changes. If I change songs, then it changes everything with MIDI, changes the drums. And then keyboards in. And that is, let's see if I can get this in the shot. So that's this, bringing in the keyboards. And then I can let up on it and it will stop. All right, and here's the harmony button. This is going to be a little awkward. Anyway, you get the idea. Oh wait, different sound. Anyway, I don't have this plugged in direct, so it's just kind of the speakers, and so you're not really getting the full sound, but you get the idea. Go check out Jam Origin MIDI Guitar 2, and there's some guys out there that do some really killer demos, and it looks pretty cool.